Hello everybody, today it's the 2nd of January 2023, so I wish everybody a healthy and happy new year. Now, this is not only my first video of the new year, but today it has also been exactly 1 year that I published my very first video on YouTube. And what better way to celebrate this than by showing you my top 10 favorite popular philodendrons of last year. And I will include a picture of each plant from the day that I got it, like these micans that I bought in July 2020, and that has become quite a tree since then. So without further ado, let's have a look at my top 10 popular philodendrons together. Favorite number 1 is my subhastatum that I bought 1 year ago for 20 euros. It first went dormant on me for a couple of months, but then it took off. And as you might know, the real beauty of this plant is to be admired on the back of its leaves with dark burgundy colors. I think that's just a mesmerizing sight. So a couple of months ago I took a top cutting that has rooted quite well now and that you can see here to the right. Now, in my opinion, the secret of success for this plant is to let it dry out completely before giving it another drink, and also give it some good indirect light. Now, after the subhastatum, I want to show you my hastatum or silver sword. This here is my mother plant that I should fix since it is growing in all kinds of directions and it has clearly outgrown the moss pole that I gave it once again. Now, I bought this plant in August 2020 for 23 euros and I am propagating this plant all the time. Here you can see, for instance, 3 plants that used to be cuttings. Now, the one in the middle I'm trying to turn into a hanging plant and it is getting there. The one on the left I should repot and give it a moss pole so that it can trail upwards. And finally on the right there is the cutest tiny baby silver sword that still has a long way to go. In other words, this is a very easy plant to propagate. Okay, favorite number 3 is my Brazil mother plant that I got in a garden center in August 2020. It cost me only 3 euros and when I got it, it wasn't trailing just yet. But since then this plant hasn't stopped growing. And every couple of months I have to cut it back so that it won't touch the floor. And for me the Brazil is just the perfect easygoing hanging plant. It's very low maintenance and it's very easy to propagate too. This philodendron red I bought in September 2020 for 11 euros. And you might be able to see that there's actually 3 plants in this pot. Now I'm keeping these plants quite small by cutting them back from time to time, which they don't seem to mind at all. So here on the right you can see, for instance, a pot with 3 cuttings that I took. And once again, this is the easiest houseplant ever. I just give it a little bit of water from time to time, and that's enough for this plant to display its beautiful red petioles. My philodendron white princess was already quite a beast when I bought it 1 year ago for 60 euros. And there is still nothing ladylike about this plant 1 year later. It has leaves of all different sizes and it also has this kind of trunk from which many side shoots appear, as you can see here. And once again I propagate the hell out of this plant. On the right you can see 2 top cuttings that I took with some nice half-moon leaves on it, and on the left a smaller 1-leaf cutting, and you can still see the original big leaf on the left. Favorite number 6 is this philodendron squamiferum that I got as a baby plant in October 2020 and I paid 5 euros for it. And I like this plant so much that I bought 2 more baby plants 1 year later that you can see here on the left and on the right. And of course, the eye catcher here is the fuzziness of the beautiful red petioles. Now, the mother plant of favorite number 7 was a little bit hard to film, since it's a bit hidden in my miniature forest. It's the Philodendron Golden Dragon that I got 1 year ago for 28 euros. It grew very tall and I forgot to give it a moss ball, so one morning it just snapped, which gave me quite a few cuttings. Most of them, as you can see, are still rooting in water, and the one on the right I already potted up. And I have to say, I just love the horsehead shape of the adult leaves on this plant. Now these cuttings have more than enough roots to plant them already in soil, but I quite like watching the roots grow bigger in the water. Favorite number 8 is my yellow violin that I bought 2 years ago for 39 euros. And it actually looks quite a bit like the previous one, the Golden Dragon, since the adult leaves have the same horsehead or violin shape. But the younger leaves on this plant are typically a bit more curly. And once again, this is a perfect plant to propagate. And each time that I propagate this plant, it just bounces back and continues to grow, with the newest leaves displaying a very light green or yellowish color, hence the name yellow violin. And you can clearly notice here the small aerial roots on the stem at the bottom of each leaf. Now I have quite a few baby plants of the yellow violin growing in pon in a self-watering pot, like this one here that you can see on the left. My favorite number 9 is this Burly Marks that I got 2 years ago for 30 euros. Now this here is my mother plant. It currently has only 5 leaves because, and you probably guessed it already, I have to cut it back over and over to keep it reasonably sized. On the right you can see a top cutting that I took and that's been growing in pon already for many months. And for me, pon is a great growing medium for your philodendrons. Alright, my final favorite popular philodendron is the Pink Princess. And these two pots I bought very recently for less than 5 euros each, which in my opinion was a real steal. Now, the variegation on these plants could be better, but I intend to put these pots in the brightest light possible to see whether that will give me more pink in the end. And speaking about pink, can you guess what philodendron I'm filming here from the back, showing all this gorgeous pink? Well, indeed, it is my painted lady that I got 1 year ago for 33 euros. It came with only 4 leaves back then, and just look at it now, pretending to be a real tree. Anyway, this concludes today's video. If you liked it, please consider liking it and or subscribing to my channel if you don't want to miss the video of my top 10 unpopular philodendrons of 2022 that I will make later this month. For now, I wish you a very nice day. Thank you very much for watching this video and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.